Welcome. Welcome back to the Build Show. What has it been? Been a good week or so. Actually, I think it's been longer than a week. Oh boy. 5080 build right off the rip to get things started. Yeah, it's been really slow this year, not gonna lie. So we're gonna have to figure out something else for the build shows. I know I say it's been slow, meaning the builds have been really slow. But this one was actually, I'd say it's been cooking for just a little over a month now. It was my bad. We had a little bit of a conflict in schedules, as well as some issues with some paint that we did on this case. Lots of issues with the case, the paint. Specifically the logo on the back panel that I envisioned, that I thought was going to be perfect. Of course, had some rework to do, but it's okay, we got through it. I got it to where I think I'm happy with it, and if we're not happy with it, I'm going to redo it. So, and you can take the PC without the back panel, because that's where the majority of the problem is. Anyway, welcome back to the Build Show. Steve Anderson, Tony over on the Twitch and the YouTube. Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Obsidian. Obsidian? Am I saying that right? Welcome back to the Build Show. Hope everybody's last couple of weeks have been good. Hope all the mothers out there had a happy Mother's Day. That was just this past Sunday. I say just this because 7 days for me feels like The Rock. Obsidian. Twitch is shut down. What do you mean? Tony was over on Twitch. Is Twitch not up for you guys? Actually, I had no idea if it is. I see the chat up, and I see my, I don't see any problems over here. But we are finally going to build another Obsidian. Obsidian? Obsidian? I don't know, I give up. I'm terrible, if you haven't gathered. I'm terrible with the English. Oh, Chevy Tech, welcome back to the Build Show, sir, over there in the Twitch chat as well. Well, we've got quite the build to do tonight. We had a lot of fun with the paint, a lot of issues with the paint, and then I'll go into that once we show off the whole case itself. So we're first going to go off and go through the build. If somebody wants to drop a exclamation point build command in the chat so I can have the specs in front of me. What's up, Cryptics? Welcome back to the Build Show. But this build is for Spencer. I was hoping to get this done about 2 weeks ago, but I had some issues with the paint, and then I had some other stuff scheduled already, which kind of fell on top of each other, and that includes the trip over to Boston and back, and here we are. So I had to spend a couple extra weeks longer than I wanted to, anticipated on this project. Unfortunately. Thank you, Chef Tech, for dropping that in the chat over there on the Twitch. So, basically, this is a almost maxed out build that you can build with some customizations, including custom cables from CableMod, as well as some fan grills that we put together for him, that we had 3D printed, which was really cool. So there's a lot of different pieces. We were also going to etch the glass, but because of the case glass, which is curved, we opted not to do that. We were advised where we wanted to put the etching, and also the fact that the machine wouldn't be able to close. It would be difficult to get the etching done the way we wanted it, and there may be some imperfections, and they couldn't guarantee a perfect etch. And we only have one shot on the glass, so rather than taking a chance and destroying the glass, I opted not to do that, unfortunately. I did want to put some etching on the glass, which was the same logo as the paint that's on the back side of the case. But we didn't get to that, and I'll show you guys all this here when we reveal the case. You can kind of see a little bit of it right there. You can see it a little bit. But let's go through the specs, and we will get over to the case next. We'll show that off once we clear the bench. All right, so to start things off, we do have a Ryzen 9 9950X3D. This has got the 16 cores, the 32 threads, and the 5.7 gigahertz max boost, and of course the 3D V-cache on the processor. So this is about as maxed out as you can get, other than getting up to the X3D2, which, in my opinion, this processor already doesn't make sense. So the X3D2 doesn't make more sense unless you're really just trying to throw money at a wall. So we've already got a pretty much maxed out processor for the build itself. I was supposed to have a AM5 contact frame here, and I actually ordered it just before the build show because it is not here, and I feel like it fell off the parts bundle because this has been around for almost a month, and may have went and hidden somewhere. So I do not have the contact frame. I went back and checked it. I did order it, and it did show up, and it was checked in. So it is here somewhere. I just could not find it, and that is what delayed me delayed the stream tonight. So I was frantically looking for one. I was like, I have to have one somewhere. Usually I have a couple on hand, but I never replenished my stock because it's been so slow. I was like, you know, if I need one, I could just run up to Micro Center and pick it up. Well, you can't do that when they're closed at 9 o'clock in the evening when you realize, oh, I don't have that. So I'll have to either run out to Micro Center tomorrow and pick one up, or I have one arriving, another stack of them arriving, because I'm like, I'm not having this issue again. I ordered a bunch of them because I usually have them, and I don't know what happened. It's not here. So I have a contact frame showing up on Monday. If not, if you guys want the machine tomorrow, which is when I'm planning to have it all wrapped up, I will run out to Micro Center and grab one and make sure it's wrapped up tomorrow at some point. But overall, that is the only thing that I'm missing here is a contact frame. And I could not believe that was what I was missing. So the Ryzen 9 9950X3D, no contact frame for the stream. I will be doing that off stream when I go get one because it's not here. Go figure. My luck, the cheapest part in the entire build, the contact frame, is not here. And then the motherboard that we're going to be putting the CPU in is a X870E Aorus Elite X3D. So the X870E Aorus Elite X3D is a little bit of a tongue twister. Doesn't roll off the tongue very smoothly, but it's a magnificent board for this processor and the RAM and the storage that we've selected. And the RAM, by the way, is 64 gigs of DDR5, and that is 6000 CL30, and this is a Lev Kraz V5 RGB kit. So really fancy kit, very fast, quick, good timing kit. Also a very stable kit. I really trust this brand, and I also trust I've used this brand quite a bit, and I've had nothing but great things to say about them. RAM and GPU alone is worth more than most people's PCs now. I know, it's pretty disgusting, isn't it? What's up, some giant idiot? Welcome back. Yeah, the X3D cache motherboard. There's no. This actually upsets me when you look at the X3D. People think they have to buy this board to match with their X3D processor. I've actually seen that on Reddit a lot. You don't have to do that. This is just a unique board that Gigabyte released, and I wished they would have left X3D out of the name and maybe given it a different name to define its specifics. But here we are. So the storage that we're going to be using is a Samsung 9100 Pro. It's a 2 terabyte NVMe Gen 5 drive. We're going to be using a Gen 5 SSD. I'm going to move these out of the way. We're going to be cooling the CPU with a 420 millimeter Liquid Freezer 3 Pro RGB, or ARGB, sorry. That is ARGB. This has a 420 millimeter radiator with 3 140 millimeter fans that we're going to be putting in the top of the case, which the case is the Haven HS420. There's a million jokes coming, I know they are. 420. So we will be able to fit that at the top of the case, and that was the original plan. On top of that, you can see we have the Gigabyte RX 580 here by Gigabyte, which is a 16 gigabyte overclocked card. This is Gigabyte's WindForce OC edition, or Gaming OC edition with the WindForce. And then we've got for the fans throughout the case, because this case is very unique. It has the 3 intake fans on the bottom, the 3 intake fans on the side, which support all 140. And then we also have 2 140 or 120 options on the back of the case. We'll call it upper rear and a lower rear. The lower rear is actually intake, and the upper rear would be exhaust. So I've got the specific Arctic P14 Pro in reverse and the regular. So literally all these fans here are reverse. There's a total of, doing quick math, 7 reversed fans here and a regular one for the top upper rear position. In addition to that, we have the Cryonaut Extreme Thermal Paste by Thermal Grizzly, and then we have our Trofeo Vision by Thermalright, which I plan to put in the lower portion below the GPU, because there's that big chunk of metal down there that we should be able to magnetize to in this screen, and then we'll be able to set up some graphics. I do plan to put some custom graphics, whether it's scrolling through some literature that he likes, or if it's displaying the logo, maybe it's a logo in the background and then the literature scrolling through. But that is what I planned on doing. In addition to that, we do have some cable mod cables, which are customized what I think is the right length for this case. I tried to get it as close as possible, because they don't have in cable mod it's customizer on their web browser, or on their website, should I say. It doesn't have the HS420 to select, so it doesn't give you the automatic length. So I picked what I thought would be the closest, and then I grabbed a couple extras just in case we needed RGB hubs and things. But we have all of the correct cables here for our build, as we should. We have 2 of these. Ah, there it is. Yep, so we've got all of our cables here for the build, and they're blue and black. They've got cable combs built into them already, which is nice, so we don't have to deal with that. But they're really nice cables altogether. What else? Oh yeah, the Vertex, probably the heaviest component besides the case. The Vertex 1200 watt 80 plus gold power supply by Seasonic. This is a basically anytime I'm building one of these higher end builds, I pretty much always go Seasonic. Pretty typical. Huh. What do you guys think? A little overkill on the build? Did we overshoot? Let's see here. Cryptics, how was Boston? Boston was pretty good, guys. It was a lot of disc control. It was a planned trip that I actually kind of forgot about, that snuck up on me. I was like, oh yeah, we have this trip coming up, and I had to go do it. I already paid for everything. But it was pretty good. We had a lot of fun out there. It was time that I probably needed it off, especially being in a household full of, sometimes, you know, need a break. But let's see here. Steve Anderson, I finished RE9 on casual, modern, classic. It was fun. So you play all the different modes. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. You guys still on water boil advisory, or did that not hit you. So I was not actually involved with that because I have a well. I'm not on city water over here in Lake Orion. For those of you who aren't aware, Lake Orion's main, as well as some surrounding other neighbor cities or townships or villages, whatever you want to call them, were impacted by a water main that broke, and then the city water was gone pretty quickly. So we didn't have, those of us in Lake Orion and surrounding neighboring cities or towns or villages did not have water from the city. But thankfully I have a well, so one of the only times it's good to have a well, other than the quarterly city water bill. Well, there are pros and cons to having a well. So I have to pay a lot of money to soften and basically treat my own water. Even though I don't have to pay the city, I am paying for another company to come in and manage, and the equipment in there is ridiculous. It takes a lot of effort and work to maintain it, and my first 2 years I tried to do it myself, and it was just problem after problem after problem. I finally just handed it off to a company to do it because I got sick of it. I don't have time to be a plumber when I'm already doing everything else that I'm doing. So handed that off, so there is a cost to that. So there's pros, like I said, pros and cons to having a well and versus city water. But I think they balance out somewhere in the middle. So when I'm not on a boil advisory, I'm not really paying attention to it, unfortunately, because it didn't really impact me outside of my neighbors stopped coming over for a shower. So, neighbors down the street. I gave a PC away with a 6600 XT. Ryzen 7 5700, 32 gigs of DDR4. The kids loved it. That is super cool of you, Steve Anderson. That is super cool. Pretty beefy, Dustin says. I know, this is a pretty beefy setup. Well, I have one too. Oh, okay. That's nice. Yeah, we have a salt guy that does it all. Yeah, pretty much. We use a company called Culligan, which, by the way, makes it super easy. So. I'm taking a stab into the dark, just joined. Is that the 9900X? This is the 9950X3D that we are working with tonight. 9950X3D. So we will be building with that. But welcome to the Build Show, Bradley. Make sure you join the Discord as well. Get all sorts of fun stuff, projects going on in there. Oh yeah, they are Spencer. It's actually his wife that went all out on this build for him. Oh man, a beast in the making. Yes, some giant idiot. I agree. Tat Daddy Roy, welcome back to the Build Show, sir. RAM and GPU alone. Yeah, we already covered that one. Sorry. Awesome specs. I love the Trifeo Vision LCDs. Yeah, this is a pretty, I'd say the software's coming along slowly. The last time I got to use the software it didn't seem, maybe because I've already used it, but it didn't seem as difficult. So I'm hoping the software becomes easier to use. And that is the Thermalright software that we would be using for this screen. Sometimes the Thermalright software can be a little bit difficult. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the case. Oh yeah, I did have those grills over there I meant to bring over and show you. We're gonna get started on the build itself. I hope everybody's ready on this fine Saturday night. Absolutely gorgeous Saturday night. I say that because over here in Michigan, if you're not from Michigan, it's been an absolute disaster. Like somebody keeps hitting the on and off switch on us for summer. And they think it's a funny joke. We're not laughing anymore. Okay, I know you're probably going to see a little bit of my disastrous mess over there. But this is the case and where we ended up. I hope we can see some of the blue, but actually the blue stands out way more on camera than it does in person, so kind of worried about that. But here we have this is the HS420, and some of the work I did was I took the mounting brackets for all of the fans and the cooler, and I painted those blue. Had to do a couple of coats. I actually sprayed them white first as kind of like a primer, and then I did blue, and then I did a clear coat on all of these while they're hanging in air. And it's really hard to do that on a dirt road, especially when the road commission, that's the word I was looking for, the name, especially when they do not spray. I'm drawing another blank, help me out, guys. Anyway, they spray something on the road, I can't remember the name of it right now off the top of my head, it's just gone, and it usually helps keep dust down, right? They don't do that typically in the spring here, don't know why, but anyway, trying to spray paint between dust storms, like you have to pick a low traffic time, which by the way is later in the evening and difficult to do because you have to do it outside. I don't have a painting booth here because I don't do enough paint, so I have to do it outside, and obviously we don't want dust mixed into our paint, so I had to pick and choose. Oh shit, better timing. I forgot that it's not secured. So I'll show you guys the back panel, but I gotta remove the glass to do that. Is one full gigantic piece. Okay. Here's another look on the inside. You can kind of see the paint on the back, which, by the way, I wanted to remove that screen. I'll show you guys more about that. Go into it. Yeah. I got the blue here, I got the blue there, I got the blue here. All good and looking nice. What? Over. If anybody can identify this and tell me where it's from, go ahead and share. I'll be waiting. But this was very difficult to do on this panel because of all the... Anyway, I started out with royal blue. You could barely see it. At least I thought you could barely see it. Maybe with some good lighting you could see it. But in this situation, when I was holding it up to the light, I was like, I can't even tell it's there. So I redid it and added some white as like a film ghosting it, and then re-added the blue, and then had to add some additional white, and then I had to re-add the blue, and then I had to clear coat it. So we are finally, I think, satisfied with the results, because we can make out what it is. But it is a logo from a very specific, I believe, game. Yeah, it's kind of like a Firebird Phoenix, yeah. And I know the shine from the clear coat isn't helping with the light reflecting off of it, but it's like a two-headed phoenix. Does anybody know what game this is from? The verbiage would have given it away on the glass earlier. Yes, Dustin, I feel like it's cheating if you answer. Let's see here. I'm taking a stab in the dark. Oh yeah, we already did that. Good. Go to okay. I overclocked my 5060 Ti 16 gig from 14 gigahertz on the VRAM to 17 gigahertz on the VRAM. Man, GDDR7 is amazing. That is actually a substantial overclock that you have there. That's because it is. Firebird Phoenix. Thank you, Steven. So Steve got it mostly right. I think this is more like a... I want to call it a phoenix, but it's more like an eagle, I think, with its legs down here and its two heads. It's like a two-headed eagle and then the two wings. That's at least what I envisioned it. It's also on the front, or the initial screen that I started the stream with, the intro. But there it is. You got the Phoenix. That was very, very, very difficult to achieve with the royal blue on the black. And we have a run here. I didn't catch that. Good thing it's on the back side. A little bit of a run there. I don't know how that happened because I sprayed very lightly. We have the blue. Anyway. Really nice. I was happy with the results on the rest of the case. So, I did plan on actually removing this bracket and using a Leon Lee bracket. So that way we made more room for the screen. We could fit that in there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that in preparation. I also removed the hard drive trays, which were set up here and on the back. Those are all out of the case. Give you guys those when you come pick up. That's all extra hardware that came with the case. I'm not going to be utilizing. I forgot, we're working with an overly engineered case. Putting this back together so that they'll have it nice and organized if anybody ever went to go use it then in the future. And for some reason I got hit by a bus and couldn't answer the question. Not planning on getting hit by a bus, but you never know. Never know. So I put the whole assembly back together so that they could re-add that in the future if they ever wanted to. Right, some other cool customizations that we did outside of all of that other stuff and the graphics that we're going to do for the screen. But we did these fangirls, which I also painted the same color blue to match the case. These were 3D printed, and they are for 140mm fans. But I think they were going to look really nice, especially if we put some white light on them. I think they'll look really nice. So, looking forward to get these installed. I bought enough to cover I believe all the fans, if we wanted to put them on all of them. But that was also not my intention to put them on every single one. It was more so to do them on the side fans and maybe the rear, and maybe a couple of the bottom ones, but that was it. And to have extra just in case we needed extra because something happened. Because when you're doing customizations, having extras is always good. I also have extras on the stickers for the, I say stickers, but the verbiage on the glass. So that way, if you need more, set those there with the fan so I don't forget them. And, well, I hope... Yes! Yes, what's up? Yes, we're doing another Beast build today, and yes, kind of like medieval, but I think it's more of a Dragon Age theme. Huge fan. That looks sick, by the way. Awesome. Yep, so that is the results of the paint. And of course, each paint job I do, or each project with paint, get better and better and better at it. So, I feel like. But I struggled a little bit with that dark blue. So again, contact frame coming. If I have to, tomorrow I'll run out and grab one. Didn't want to do that, but we'll get it done if we need to. So, and then we'll make sure that the contact frame is installed before. Second sun is where the two-headed eagles come from. Like on the back of the dollar bill. Yeah, oh yeah. Kind of like that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the build. We're going to start with the X870 Aorus Elite X3D motherboard by Gigabyte. Which has all these awesome stickers on there as well. Stickers and extra hardware that comes with the board that will come with the computer, so you have all of that hardware. All right, so we're going to go ahead and drop a CPU into the sockets, which is going to be our AMD Ryzen 9 9950X 3D. Again, 16 cores, 32 threads, 5.7 gigahertz max boost out of the box. So, kind of a beast. There we go. Focus. Take the sticker out and I put it in the box with all the extras. And again, contact frame coming. I'm just kind of upset with myself that I've messed that one up somehow. Where I'm like, oh, who needs a contact frame? The cheapest part in the build. Well, it kind of speeds up the build. Usually I'm dealing with that. So next is our 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 megahertz CL30. This is the Clev. I want to make sure it refocused. This camera sometimes likes to go rogue and not refocus. Hey, what's up, Tony? I love fancy motherboards. I know you do. We're going to drop this into slots A2 and B2. Next, is our Gen 5 PCIe Gen 5, which, by the way, is not only super expensive, but super fast. Samsung 9100 Pro, so this is probably one of the best SSDs on the market when it comes to speed, performance, and overall quality, I would say. Can't really get much better than this other than getting bigger. By the way, my friend is soon be upgrading his PC. The issue is he's debating on either a 5900X or a 5800X 3D. I told him the X3D has a lot more cache. He said that there's more cores on the Ryzen 9, which benefits his work, which is Blender and video editing. But I want to ask, which one should he go for? If he's working with Blender, I would say the cores probably do benefit him more. For rendering, I would say the additional cores will help him more. But if he's upgrading an existing PC, so that makes me assume he's on AM4 if he's just upgrading the processor. But I would say the Ryzen 9 would be a better upgrade. Plus the 5800X 3D is so hard to find unless they are just now coming out fresh off the factory from AMD because of their anniversary announcement. But I would go with the Ryzen 9 5900 XT between the two for Blender. More of a productivity thing when it comes to Blender. Okay, so we've got our storage out. Let's go ahead and get it mounted. Where on earth is my... I'm 99.9% sure we would put it in this top slot and set it, forget it type of scenario. That was a lot harder than it should have been. We have a monster tonight. What's up, Tama PC? Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. It's a monster. As my daughter... I know. My daughter would say that. It's a monster. There we are. This one's got the little fancy PCIe 16 button here that releases that latch. I like that. Kind of fits the theme of the build, which is overly engineered. Both the Mouse Pi and the Samsung are only like 13 gigs. Samsung is an open world game and has pretty crazy graphics, makes you wonder why the other games are so huge. Which games are you talking about? Where you been, Ant-Man? Ah, man. Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. What's up, Tama? I've been here. It's just we haven't had any builds. Uno momento, Samsung. Yeah, man, it's just we haven't had a ton of builds, man. It's just that slow. I got to figure out something else to do. Like, I do plan on doing the Alienware kind of touch-up / rebuild. But I needed to get this project completed first before I did anything else. This was like top priority. Get it done, and get it done right, obviously. So, and then we'll probably do another build show, I don't know, later in the week with the old 2003 Alienware rebuild, if anybody's interested in more retro stuff. And this is pre-Dell Alienware stuff on a beautiful, I decided to keep it original with all the original hardware except for the graphics card, and replacing a couple of damaged / aged equipment that needs to be replaced in order to have it fully functioning. And it also kind of increases the performance a little bit. So it's kind of a maxed out Alienware from 2003 era, which is, you know, I know as a boy, when I was a kid, that was like a dream to have type of thing. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it afterwards. I envision someday having a storefront with kind of like a history section of where gaming PCs came from, basically. So from where it started, going up until we get to where we are now. So everybody can see kind of how technology has advanced in the gaming PCs, and different game eras, you know, going from Call of Duty 1 to Call of Duty 7 would be kind of or Call of Duty Black Ops 7 would be kind of a good example. But all the different changes between the hardware, kind of cool to physically walk in and actually see all of the changes. Would be kind of cool. Yes, make every build run Crysis so then we could see where we finally were able to run Crysis. You sold yours about a month back. Now I have a 7500F, 16 gigabytes, 512, 9060 XT, nothing much. I mean, it's still a solid build to do some regular daily gaming. 1080p, maybe a little 1440p action in there. What's Max doing? Max is hanging out down here. He had his dinner. So he's just chilling by Dad, waiting for bedtime probably. Rolling his eyes because, oh, that stupid stream music's running again. I have done 3 Ryzen 7700 builds, an Intel Yak build, a huge NAS, and my PC above. Oh, nice. That's a lot. Oh, and I got a new laptop and 2 used ones. All have Ryzen 7 on them. What are you doing with all those laptops? Make every build run crazy. That's exactly. No PC builds because nobody's interested in spending the money on builds right now. It's just that slow of a market right now. I don't get a ton of traction on the website, and that results to no builds to build. So we'll probably change it up and do some other type streams, which is still going to include, you know, building PCs and stuff. But I'm gonna have to think of some stuff because it's really slowing down and impacting the live streams now at this point. Because I usually just rely on having the builds, and I've always had the builds to do. So that's been my thing, my niche, is building PCs. So it's going on the dark web with them, probably. I still have my laptop from 1995. Nice. I'm just saying those sizes could go with a 500 gig. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, they could be bigger. Like Call of Duty, for example, requiring 300 gigs and your left liver. I don't know if you have a left liver or not, but I still have working condition. Oh, nice. Those are probably pretty nice antiques. I call them antiques now. But the oldest thing I have here is an old IBM. Oh gosh, we'd have to go way, way back, like before even AGP was a thing. Like way back, like first AMD processor back. Only well-do people are building PCs or maxing out your credit card. Oh gosh. Yep, Tony, I hear you. Maxing out the credit card. Yeah, it's just really expensive right now to live. I think that's really impacting the builds and the it's not the good. Really slowing me down. So the cost of gas, the cost of food, the cost of rent, the cost of electricity going up. For example, DTE here in Michigan has gone up, I think, twice within like the last year, and they're also pushing to push for another price hike. And it's like, holy smokes, I've noticed in the last 3 or 4 months here, my electric bill has gone up in the winter, which is usually when it's lowest. I haven't even kicked the AC on yet, and it's almost $300 a month, which is insane. It's insane. I don't ever remember spending $300 on electric bill unless you're mining. Mining for that Bitcoin. It's absolutely insane. So I think that's impacting a lot of people's decisions to buy something like a luxury item, for example, like a gaming PC. Either that or everybody hates me now. Oh gosh, no, we're just not even gonna run I'm not even gonna run the AC, to be honest with you. Unless it's like 100 degrees outside, I am not running the AC. We're just gonna open windows, and the dirty PC can get even more dirty with dust. It'll be like Interstellar on the dirt road. You guys remember the scenes where they're, you know, fighting the dust on Earth? It'll be kind of like that here. In real life. Yeah. That's the market. I know the market's just crap right now. Everything's just so stupid. Price of the RAM, the SSD, the CPU, the graphics card, it's just overkill. I can't even do my upgrade because I refuse to spend $800 on 64 gigs of RAM. Unless Spencer plans on donating me half his RAM. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But no, I refuse to spend $800 on 64 gigs of RAM, which is what I need for my build. I need it. Because 32 isn't enough. I keep pegging out at 32, maxing it out all the time. I mean, at this point, you know, 64 gigs at $800, 96 gigs for $1,200 is actually not a bad deal. You may as well just go to 96. It used to be a slot in a hard drive slot, I think. Yeah. What's that? I've got 90-something Dell Latitude sitting around, Dustin says, back when you could slide the battery and disk drive out from the front. Oh, shit. Sheesh. That's an old Dell. Can't do that anymore. They don't even have disk drives anymore. They're all gone. Yes, the electric bill is going to be higher this summer, so I do recommend, if you have a PC and you're not using it, consider shutting it down. Don't be like me and run it 24/7. Because it probably costs you around $30 to $40 a month to run your PC 24/7. No joke. And I've got like 5 of them in this house, so that's probably easily why my electric bill's so high. But in my defense, it was never that high before. So you live in Vegas and I'm just running on window AC where I'm at, I probably will consider that. We have a really efficient AC unit in our place here, so. And I know we're getting kind of off topic, but I use my PC all day, only off when I'm sleeping. It's a good idea to shut it down when you're sleeping. They also have peak hours now, or I guess they've always had the peak hours, but it's never really been like a concern until now. I'm looking at the electric bill like, what the H is going on here? Do I have like a ground? Am I feeding just the ground electricity somewhere? Yeah, I know, they're pretty cheap. Like, just a room AC is a lot cheaper to run. Yeah, the super fluffy dogs. Yep, I remember them. All right. I'm a PCs. I may have to do a 9950X to RTX 5090 soon. So stay tuned. I might just go live. I'd tune in for that. I would assume the dual RTX 5090 would be a AI rig. So we've got the motherboard set here. We do have to get the mounting brackets for the cooler. By the way, it's going to make it very difficult to get the contact frame in there, but that's okay. That's the cost that is the cost of frame here. We're going to bust this guy open, which is our cooler. The Liquid Freezer 3, 420 millimeter. And we'll get our hardware out so we can get the mounting hardware mounted to the motherboard so we can mount the cooler to the CPU once we get that in the case. I feel like I'm doing this right. Here, so you can suffer with me. I don't understand. I mean, I guess I do, because they're saving space. Arctic does a really good job with engineering, and they engineered these boxes to save space, which I think is kind of cool. But they come in a triangle box, like a triangle, so they get stack, stack, stack. Kind of cool. And it opens up like one of those alien eggs from the Alien movies. The hardware is all we needed. But we're gonna get in there anyway. 420, yes! I had 2. Now I have none. Oh man. That's Intel. Don't need that. I was like, ooh, a contact frame. If this was an Intel build, thank God. Then we would have to or we would have a contact frame with the cooler, technically. But it's not. Go. Alright, so we've got our brackets, our left and our right. Those for later. Those for now. No. Split up one. Zoom back in. Oh yeah. How close do you want to get? Because we can get real close. These brackets have a left and a right side because there is offset mounting for AMD. So the offset mounting is important because the hotspot on the CPU is right around this area here. So what this does is it centers up the center of the cooler towards the lower portion of the CPU. It does leave a percentage of the CPU uncovered, but that is the cooler area of the CPU where it doesn't actually get very hot. So engineered specifically for AMD, which I like about Arctic, is they pay attention to the detail like that to get a little bit of a benefit. Get a little bit of a edge. And just that little bit of a change makes a pretty big difference. So what I'm going to do is actually put Arctic MX4 on here because we're going to have to take this off and repaste. Although I do have your Cryonaut Extreme here, but I am going to have to take the CPU, not out, but repaste it once I get the contact frame and put that in. So I am going to not use the Cryonaut Extreme for the initial build because I got to take it apart and clean it off and repaste it, and I'll put this on when I put the contact frame on, so you're aware. I'm saving that. Even though it is 2 grams, it's enough to do both. It just doesn't make sense if I'm just going to be wiping it later anyway. So I'd rather just use MX4 compound, which is going to be just wiped in a couple days or a day or tomorrow, whenever I get. No idea why I just pasted it. I shouldn't have. It's okay, it's gonna sit here untouched. We're gonna get the case out and then we'll throw this in the case next. Might actually wipe that anyway. I have no idea why I pasted it. See how rusty I am, guys? I'm actually not that rusty, I'm just tired. Okay. Glad you're doing fine. Have a nice and enjoyable evening. Yeah, you too, Tom PC. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out. Missed a couple of your chats there. What's up, King? 9850 X3D still wins. Still is win. Okay. Supposedly the best CPU. Which one? Not supposedly. It is the best if you are talking about the 9950 X3D. No, I think he is talking about the 9850 X3D. Have to go. Had a 3-day sleep session. Slept okay last night. I do not want to repeat that. No, you don't. Tony says, I kind of kick myself. They have 48 gig versions of my RAM. It was $100 more at the time. I should have just bought it. I'm actually not a big fan of the 48 gig kits. I've had issues with the 48 gig kits, believe it or not. So for some reason, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And 32s, 64s, and 96 seem to be the sweet spots. All right, let's get the case out. We'll drop the board into the case, and I'll probably wipe that thermal paste I just put on there. I'm a dum-dum. Because you're a loser. Yeah, I know it. All right, so let's go ahead and drop the board in here, and we will... I'm sorry, gently place the board in. I had a G.Skill 24 or 2x48 for probably 10 months now. They are still fine with Expo enabled. Yeah, but that's an Intel. Is that an Intel platform? Maybe? With AMD specifically is where I've had issues with 48. Thank you for the sub. It's Maddie95 over there on the tube of you. AMD 7900, okay. Interesting. Well, I've just steered clear from them because I've had issues in the past. And since then, specifically with this brand, I've had 0 issues. I'm not sure if it's just from firmware upgrade, BIOS upgrade updates, or something else changed. I just chose the right brand. I just remember having a lot of issues when DDR5 came out, and it was a nightmare to deal with. Very expensive, too. Expensive in a sense that I had to swap RAM lots of times. Even though it was on the QVL list, I did everything right, and I'd still have problems with DDR5 RAM. It was annoying. That was like early DDR5. Definitely noticed there's way less issues, so it's maturing finally. I should probably update it. So. You guys think I can get away with leaving the paste on there and not accidentally touching it? Some of these thread really nicely. Actually just thought of this, but I have to have the bracket like this. Those ones out. And then of course, Gigabyte covers this hole. Pull that out. Alright, so motherboard mounted minus these two, which we're going to be using for the bracket, which I can go ahead and get out. Get that out. This is, for the record, a Lian Li GB002 graphics card anti-sag bracket. Let's put these away. Okay. Alright, so we got the bracket installed. The rest of the bracket will come when we put the graphics card in. I think that's like the first time I didn't forget that time. Amazing. Cool, you have the same brand, just different style. Yeah, they have a couple of different RGB styles. This one's more of like a sleeker RGB, which I do like, especially with the amount of fans that we have in here. It's going to be a lot of RGB, but I think it'll light it up very nicely. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of our front panel connectors in. See if we can manage that without touching the thermal paste. The cable management in this case is absolutely amazing. I love it. And then we do want to get our EPS cables in before we get to the cooler. Love how it takes 3 times to get that in there. Still, to this day, it takes me 3 tries to get the USB-C front panel connector in. I don't know what it is about that connector, but it is my kryptonite. There we go, and then we have our cable mod cables. Cable mod for our EPS cables, which is nice because our cables, we don't have to break out the power supply quite yet. Nice bonus. 1. These are specifically pinned out for this Vertex DX1200. It is pinned out for this power supply model. Hey, what's up, Chris? Welcome back to the build show. Hitting that build command, look for the buttons. I tried to get the blue as close as the blue could be. I still see it's a little off. I mean, I checked, obviously. A little bit more vibrant on the cables. More vibrant than I wanted. Go. Might have to push those in just a little bit more. Get a little bit of clearance on the from the cooler. We get the idea. It's gonna be really nice when we cable manage this bad boy. Really nice. Okay, so now we're ready to actually mount the AIO, block it, and maybe we get away without getting thermal paste everywhere because we're an idiot and put paste on it too early. Hey, what's up, Chris? I'm kind of curious. I've seen, and this is from Tony over on Twitch. I'm kind of curious. I've seen people doing it. Could I run my 4070 along with my 4080 if it would even fit, or 5080? I mean, yeah, there's nothing stopping you. It's just what's not going to happen is you're not going to be able to run it as a team. Like having both cards in there isn't going to make your game run better. The reason why a lot of people probably do that is for like AI or rendering purposes, for like Blender and different projects or things that they're working on it on their PC. More production or AI, I would say, purposes. And maybe there's still some titles out there that I'm not aware of that you could split up the render process. I don't know. It's a realm that I'm not really involved in, so maybe it is possible. But I know it's not like the SLI or the AMD's Fire. What is it called? Is it called Fire? But SLI for NVIDIA. It's not like that. Happy Saturday, Ben. What's up, Metal Spring? Happy Saturday, sir. Welcome back to the Build Show. Alright. Get this cooler mounted. Now, I do have the option to take this panel out, mounting bracket, but you've kind of gathered I'm more of the lazy builder. So, when I say lazy, it's because it's funny. Where I'm just going to go ahead and mount it without taking it out. What I don't want to have happen is have any of these RGB cables come undone while we're mounting, because that would be a complete disaster. So, we're also going to be using the washers, I believe, on this one. Yeah, I think we have the space to do it. I'm going to get our couple of these screws ready. I'm going to be sitting here frantically holding it while trying to do this all, which is the lazy part coming in. There are better ways to do these things. Yep, those cables are going to have to move in just like I thought. Hoping to be able to keep them a little bit more fluffy to show off their beauty. But in this situation, position's going to win. Physics wins. Since I've mounted a 420 millimeter, but I'll just get a screw started there, and a screw started down here, and that'll kind of hold it for me. In place. So that we could screw the rest of them in without sitting there looking like a monkey. Thank you, kind sir. You're welcome, good sir. Then I'll just attack the corners, get those all tightened up. And it looks like I'm lined up through all the way down, so nothing's out of line here. I am using the washers because I was pretty sure these heads, the Arctic heads on these screws sometimes are a little too small, and they do give you the option to use a washer that is included. I opted to use them. Also nice because the paint, that way the screw's not spinning into the paint, the washer just kind of settles into it. Keep bumping the microphone, sorry guys. Bill with the hat's like, hey, I want a piece of that. Let me in on the action. I think we're gonna get away without having to wipe that thermal paste off, guys. The only major bleep up is the fact that I didn't have the contact frame, which isn't that bad of a bleep up. It's just the cheapest part in the entire build, and it's not here. Okay, those are all in. Good to go, go, go. Down. Before we get too crazy, I am going to put this cable in there, which is the headers for the pump, the fans, and the VRM fan. Kind of an important one to get to. Also located underneath the radiator now. Didn't realize how thick that cooler is. Almost needed to shave some of that fan off. My knuckle touched it. Ah! My finger touched it. This is getting out of hand. So close, guys, so close. I actually thought I'd have more room here. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was in la la. What? This splitter splits it up so you can control the fans and the VRM and the pump differently for each of them, which I do prefer. To be able to control all three of those separate. All right, that's in. Extras. Oh. Nobody heard that. Weird sound that came out of the microphone. Anyway, alright, so we got that fixed. Resolved. Was never an issue. Alright. Now we get to mount this thing, and this thing's always a pain in the butt. I mean, a pleasure to deal with. It is always a pleasure to deal with. I look forward to mounting these every time I have to deal with them. The only reason why I say that is because they are tight to mount. They like a nice tight fit from Arctic, which isn't a bad thing because the tighter the better. But we're going to be unmounting this later anyway when we go to put the contact frame in. Because Dum Ben somehow, I think it slid off the stack of piles and went into another box, and that box went somewhere else. I have no idea where the hell it went. It was here, which absolutely sucks. Maybe I accidentally took it for another build, but I ordered that one. I don't know. I gotta look into it more. But either way, I got another contact frame on the way. Oh. The offset was almost a no-go on this board, just for awareness. Anybody else building on this board in the future, that is a close call, what we like to call it. Going to be difficult to get that off. I guess if you pop that ever so slightly and slide it forward, you can. This lips right over the heat spreader for the SSD. Alright. Now, I do have blue zip ties, but they're a little bit more vibrant. You think this is too vibrant? I'll show off the other blues. I think it's too vibrant. Go with black. You maybe use that blue on the back, or nobody's gonna see it, really. Or just stick with it. What does Spencer want to use? Black or blue? These vibrant blue zip ties or the black ones? I'm already zip tying with black ones. Kind of making it a probably the black, yeah. I agree, Dustin. 3. Yeah, this run has to run to the cooler, so it's on the front. We're gonna be nice and clean with this. And now to feel like Tony Stark in Iron Man, where he puts his heart in there. This is magnetic, it just comes right out. FYI for traveling. Peels, man. So many peels. All right. So next, we can start tackling the 5,000 fans we have to install. How about that? Yeah. I just realized we have to get creative for one of them. Oh, come on out. You wee little bugger. More P14 Pros. What drove me to do that, you ask? I have no idea. I enjoy pain, suffering. Joking, of course. Okay. In here, I'm just fishing these lovely cables through this lovely hole. At least, haven't over-engineer this hole to force cable through it. That would be terrible if they did. Alright, so I've just simply placed the fan there. What we're going to be doing is adding this grill anyway, to this one in the back. I wanted to add this one here. Of course, the AIO is covering up one of the holes that we would be screwing into. We don't want to get these too tight, because like the classic rail. I don't want to chance cracking it here. We're gonna have to get Mr. Stubby out for this one. I knew we were going to be using Mr. Stubby at some point tonight. Going in. Fuck's sake. Thank you. That was a weird turn of events there. Anyway, got the grill in. Looking pretty epic back there. So I think if we added to all the fans, it would be a little overkill. So I want to definitely add it to the side fans and probably the rear fans, and I think that'll look really cool because those are the both directions facing the person. And then we'll leave maybe the bottom and the tops, no grills. Yeah, nice. Blue, yes. It is blue. Oh. Oh, you're saying blue for the zip ties. Yeah, that was a little while ago, sorry. Really bad at this. Right. So this is a reversed blade. Did I peel it? Okay. Thank goodness I was smart and peeled that one. This is a reversed blade. So we have intake on the bottom, exhaust on the top. Want everybody to know I'm doing my homework. We got another one of these holes we have to fish these cables through. Hopefully I didn't put it on upside down. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't. Where is Roy? Roy was over in the Twitch chat just a little bit ago, Tony. Actually, it was a little while ago. We're almost 2 hours into the stream already. So, it was a little while ago, but he was there. I actually just realized this board has a PCIe 16. I'll just use the standard cable from the power supply for that one and slip it in there. It'll go undetected. This isn't even really necessary, it's just additional power to the slot if we needed it. It is not needed for this build, but we'll plug it in anyway. Alright, now to do the side fans. but I'm going to prep them by putting the grills on first. We have 3 more of the same fans in reversed. Watch my buddy's PC being built is incredible. Nice. Welcome to the build show. Yeah, it's been a solid build. Very customized. Starting to get a little hot. We're definitely making progress on the build. So what I'm going to do is put all these face down, peel the peels, so we don't forget those. Put the grills on these first, since they mount to the back. And then we'll do the bottom ones. You want the grills on all of these? I assume you do. Or do you want it just like on a center one or the top and bottom? Are there any changes here? My evil plans. Yeah, some of the lighting plays tricks with you. Oh, see, that one has spray there. Missing. I know I made more of a front and a back style. I paid more attention to the quote-unquote front. Alright, they gave me the... There we go. Now that we have all the grills, the only thing I didn't think of is direction of the cable. No, I think it's right. I hated how they did this. I would typically go like this, but I'm just going like that. these installed. These are reversed blades as well, so they're going to be intake on the side. I give up. I'm gonna go to school to learn how to type. It's okay, Tony. I guess I need a new microphone in this room. Those phone covers are awesome. Are those fan covers? Yeah, the fan covers are pretty cool. I'm glad I found them for this project. Actually found a guy on on Etsy. Makes them because I don't have a 3D printer, unfortunately, and so I was kind of trying to avoid buying one. That'd be one extra wonderful, expensive hobby that I don't really want to get into yet. Maybe when I'm retired. But I don't even want to buy $800 of RAM, so I'm penny pinching. Not going to be buying a 3D printer, although there are so many cool things I would love to do with a 3D printer. It is a bonus when the fan hub is included with the case, I would say. That's definitely a bonus. Alright, guys, ready to see what these grills look like? Alright. There they are. The Phoenixes. We got that plugged in. Oh yeah, we should probably get the screen sorted out too. Can't forget that. But we got one more set of fans here on the bottom. We got a screen to sort out. Then we can install a graphics card, get the power supply installed. I actually look like bothering. I thought it was. Can't win, can you? Whatever. Every time I hear the name Roy, I think of Rapid Roy, the stock car boy by Jim Croyce. That looks awesome. Thank you, Dustin. Yo! Tat says looks dope. Thank you, Tat. There's Tat. Tony. Yeah, fan hubs are a godsend, especially with these shorter cabled Arctic Pros. So if you guys buy Arctic Pros, the cables are super short, just for awareness. And they do not come with hubs, splitters, or anything like that. They're intended to daisy chain off of each other. At least that's Arctic's intent, which is perfectly fine. You can do that. There's a limit on how many you can run. What's nice about this motherboard is that it has 3 ARGB headers. So I could split the load. So I got the whole top portion on one header. This will probably be on one header, and then the bottom 4 fans will be on another header for the RGB, and that's how I'll split it all up. But let's go ahead and get our bottom fans installed, and then we will get our screen installed. And then we'll get the rest of the power supply cables and the graphics card installed. We're moving along, This one makes me look like an idiot, because I think I might have to remove this fan. tight fit, but that'll do. So, that right there, like so, as we prep for the install. Now, I'm going to put these on the top. I think you have the option to actually put them on the bottom, but I'm going to put them on the top. I feel like that gives it way more airflow. Grab air from the bottom. Don't see how to put it on the bottom. I think it's possible. These are also reversed blades, so the fans will be facing upwards, so all the fans in the system are facing the same direction for the aesthetics. The preference in today's day and age. So what I'm going to do is pretend like they're going in like this, but we're doing it reversed. Yeah? Right? I think it looks right, guys. What do you guys think? Am I crazy? I mean, I already knew I was crazy, but that's okay. And since there's a little bit of wiggle room here, I'm going to try to leave some wiggle room for the back because of that back fan. It's already a really tight fit there. I also don't want to not get all the fans in, so I'm going to just put 2 screws in each one to start, then we'll play with it. Probably right about there. Looks like I'm gonna have to fish these first. Go. Simple. We got them in. Yeah, I haven't hit the lotto yet either. I'm still waiting. What's up, Buttercup? How's it going? Living the dream, that's cool. Aren't we all just living the dream? Alright, so we've got our bottom fans installed. We have the cables routed to the back. Kill this before I forget. And now we're going to drop our screen in, which I'm going to mount it down here on the bottom. I got some graphics for it that I want to put on there. I still actually have to tinker with the graphics, honestly. But not the end of the world, because the build can go first and then I can do it else. I'll finish it up if I have. But I would prefer to have it done. Still gonna be upward. The price we pay. I'm thinking this thing's super cool and magnetic, and it'll kick right there beautifully. Right? I love it. Like to try a little more hidden. Something like that. I was envisioning nice little screen here where we can graphics on display. Slide it over. It's gonna look nice. All right, so now we could get the graphics card in. 24-pin power. And then power supply and a lovely cable management party on the backside. Can't wait. It's going to be a little epic. Alright, so we're going to take this black through that. Pretty sure it's I remember correctly, it might actually be free. The Gigabyte Gaming OC RX 580. Actually, won't need these brackets either. Get our own bracket. Too ugly for this build. Bruh. And this bad boy is a 3-slot card. I thought it was a thick boy. The reason why I ask is doesn't really matter. Is what it is. Yeah, join up on the Discord if you haven't already. Great place to party. Usually there's an after party. A little bit of gaming and stuff in there. And it's gone. Remove before use. Thanks, Gigabyte. Then we have all the peels, the peel. More fan peels. My favorite. I love fan peels. You guys love fan peels? I love fan peels. Holy crap. Sweet! I mean, look at the stack of peels that I got going here. I'm not tightening it down yet. We'll have to get our bracket in here. Remember our GPU bracket from earlier? It is time for it to come in. Very thin, rubbery rubber one. Where? What do you mean we don't have? Oh. Of course it is. The one that we need is still in the bag. I think I have plenty of space to get that RGB, get those RGB headers. What do you guys think? Do I need to refrain from finishing this because I have RGB headers to plug in still? I just thought of that. Like, then part of me is like, nah. Hello, Ben. Forza Horizon 6 looks like amazing on PC. Yeah, that's a good game. Forza is a good game. Although I have a need for speed. Welcome back to the build show, Kenneth. Alright, so that bracket is in place. What that's doing is holding the majority of this back weight, because there's literally nothing back here holding the weight of the card, and it will keep the card from sagging over time. We don't want that to happen. It can damage your graphics card. It could also damage your PCIe slots on your motherboard. So usually a good idea, if you have a heavier card or a longer card that has no support in the back end, get a bracket that supports it. Even if it's just a peg, or you build it out of Legos, anything, guys, just throw it in there. Support your card. Your card will thank you. It appreciates the support. I mean, just imagine... No, we won't go there. I was going to use a terrible metaphor. For guys, guys would laugh at it. Women might throw eggs at me. But anyway, kind of get the idea. Detroit Truck Doctor. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome back to the Build Show, sir. We got our custom cable mod cable CPU with our fancy plastics protecting the connector. If you didn't say GPU on it, I'm glad that's a sticker, because sure as shit gonna peel that off. Why would you even put that on there? Put the PSU one on one side, and then I know the other side's GPU. Oh, no, there's some people out there that would. Gonna get the coop off from the sticker. First thing that'll happen when dust hits this frig, stick to this Ooh. And you'll have 2 random lines on this connector covered in goop and everything else is. It would be weird. Okay. Being stupid. I almost want to move it. I think it would look cleaner going through the... Oh yeah, that's clean. Okay, next up is our 24 pin. We have a couple of static power cables for the hubs, which is 2 of them, and power supply itself, and then we have RGB connectors to plug in and additional cable management fun. And our 24 pin, this thing's going to be a pain in the, I mean, a lovely, wonderful experience because it's all bent up. Fresh cable mod cables, especially these ones. These are not the super soft, you know, meshy cables. These are the more stiff versions. Once you get it in place, it's in place. And when they get chipped like this, kind of a pain to deal with. Try to get the combs a little bit further down. I want to use the combs all the way through. At least as far as I can get them. Thought I could use them further down on the cable. But the pin's in the butt. work on that a little more once we get into the backside. I don't really find peeling plastic satisfying. So do I. It's kind of a pain in the butt. For it to come off as equally as possible. Hopefully the screen doesn't fall off. All right. Now we have this wonderful, absolutely wonderful mess to deal with in the back. Almost considering a bit of a the splitter in the back here, because man, it's back here. Alright, I gotta figure out this RGB situation. I think we're gonna have to split it out. Either that or use extensions if I have any. No extensions, unfortunately. I'll have to split it out. Usually I have them. List. Did it get really quiet, guys? You guys notice a volume adjustment? Something's changed. I can hear myself think. I don't want to hear my thoughts. No way. We've been going that long already? It's been kind of a long build. Sorry, guys. Time to recycle. Time to recycle the playlist. All right, get these loaded. Kind of a massive build, you know, and I'm trying to do a really good job with the cable management and everything. Kind of a big deal. So, you know, time is going to be spent here properly, improperly. Alright, so there's that one. That's kind of sorted out now. One that needs to sort out. And we've got the bottom ones that we got to sort out here. I haven't even put two thoughts into these. There we are. Get the RGB plugged in at least a certain point. Now to get the fans actually on the fan hub, go to the PWM connection on the board. Very conveniently placed here at the bottom. For supporting 6 fans, which is kind of cool. Let's see here. Got some stuff from Tony. Tony says, Stream Machine, learn how to upgrade them and repair them, because you're gonna kill the low-end PC build if they ever come out. I mean, they're going to come out, right? Actually, I don't like how this is routed. I'm going to redo that. Sorry guys, there's a lot of keeping a Han going on tonight. Can't make up my mind. You guys kind of see what I'm going for here? See my vision?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Lots of fresh food on the plate. I don't even know what to say about Spirit Airlines. They are gone. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like cable mods. My cables are cool. Pretty cool. Now what on earth do we do with all this? Do, 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 do. feel like we did a good job on that side so far. Make that much better. Alright. Corner. No. Nothing. Yeah, I know. I saw a lot of people are throwing money at this, whatchamacallit? Like owned by the people type airline. So basically, everybody throwing money into it is going to own the airlines. So it's like this massive Oh, what is the right term for it? You're basically buying a airline, I guess. Like helping with buying an airline or funding it. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to. What they will be able to do is maybe purchase the liquidation and create a new airline. I don't think it's going to be able to come back up and be restored as Spirit. I think it is unfortunate that that happened, but if you look at the books and how everything happened and how everything played out, I hired somebody lead their company that failed before. It has a history of failing in the same exact way. And they hired them to bail them out or help them bail them out. So kind of a dumb move, in my opinion. I can't remember his name. I'm having a terrible memory night. Like, crap. I can't remember shit. But my point is it was not good. It was a very poor business decision, in my opinion, for them to bring that, whoever it was that they brought on, I can't think of his name, because in the end, he ended up letting the same thing happen that he was fired for from the previous company. Same shit happened. They went bankrupt. Duffy, I don't remember. Maybe it is. Can't remember the dude's name. Anyway, long story short, it was an avoidable shit show, and he didn't do a good enough job. But their leaderships, all their CFO, CEO, all those positions, all the leadership positions, they all got really big bonuses every year. And all of the maintenance was behind on planes. There were a lot of problems with that airline, believe it or not. In fact, I know somebody who was going to work there who actually got a job there because they were going to pay them more money. And after like a week, he's like, I don't want to be, and it was a maintenance position for working on planes. And he literally told me, he's like, I left that job and took less pay from Delta. They didn't want to be responsible for somebody getting hurt, like a plane crash. That kind of told me the status of Spirits pretty quickly. So whoever gets to purchase the liquidation, they have a big mess to clean up, that's for sure. They probably have a lot of maintenance they have to catch up on, I guess is what I'm saying. Hopefully it's not what I think it is, and kind of what I've been thinking. Hopefully it is not true, I guess is what I'm saying. And my information is incorrect. But I guess there were a lot of practices that weren't being followed properly to keep the planes flying. It was generally a budget problem. And that's usually when airlines go under. But they had numerous opportunities to clean it up and oh yeah, the gas price definitely, but they should have been ready for that. Like, that's not the change was gradual. Yeah, it was an increase, but All the other airlines are making it. I mean, they increase their prices. Spirit didn't really do that very often, so kind of put them out of business. They just weren't very quick to adjust, adapt. You have to adapt or you're going to fail. Like me, for example. I'm not doing nearly as many builds as I was last year, or the year before, or the year before. I'm going to have to adapt, or this is going to fail. Same thing. Although, you know, I enjoy what I do. I don't really want to change the way I do it, but we're in a situation where things are not doing as we wanted them to. It's time to adapt. The adapting. Okay. What do you guys think of that? That is some delicious cable management, yeah? Power supply time. And then maybe we'll fire it up before Monday. Just kidding. We'll get this thing fired up tonight. You guys have been waiting this long loyally to see this thing fired up. We're definitely going to get this thing fired up tonight. Dave Davis and Ted caused it to go down. I agree. Whoever they are. I just know it was just terrible decisions. The old blockbuster effect, yeah, can point the finger tons of different ways. End results remains the same. Even they scrape together enough, they'll have to have the capital to resolve the underlying issue. I know. That's what I'm saying, is even after somebody, you know, let's say it gets liquidated and we the people buy it, now you have investment that you have to take care of and maintain. You gotta solve the problem, number one, whatever the problem was when the issues started. Could be many of different things that caused it. But I think it was the fact that they were unable to pivot. I think that was the biggest problem. Didn't pivot, react quick enough, or didn't pay attention well enough. They were just like on autopilot, so to speak. No pun intended. But kind of what I felt like they were operating on, and that's what made them fail. I was lucky enough to have my flight to Boston through Delta. Like, that would have been a complete mess. I definitely would not have appreciated spending money and then all of a sudden, oh, we're gone. By the way. And the fact, and I do appreciate that the government didn't bail them out, honestly. I feel like that was the right move. Like, they needed to basically learn their lesson, as terrible as that sounds. And yeah, I know there's a lot of people that are jobs, but it's literally because of the leadership from the top. And they earned the situation. I'm gonna need one cable out of here that I just remembered about after I did all this lovely cable management. And I said I was gonna plug in. And I think I can sneak it in there. Nice and neat. Okay. All right. 2 more cables. That's it, guys. 2 more cables. Actually, I don't fly that often. I navigated the airport pretty easily without any issues, including getting through security. I didn't have a single problem. Okay, and there you have it. Like, wow. Mess. Actually, I might need to screw the power supply in. That might be helpful. Nobody likes a floppy power supply. I just realized, I'm like, oh, the power supply screws are still sitting here. Huh. Suspicious. What do you guys think? Is this my best cable management ever? Close to it. I wish this was more straight. It likes to just kind of just doing whatever it's doing. I don't know how to straighten that out. Maybe Velcro or something. And also wish I could put this standing up. I'm just worried about the back panel thing. Now I'm gonna run it without the glass because this case, there's a whole process. There's a back panel, there's a top panel, there's a glass panel, then there's the side panel. I'm gonna run it without the glass real quick for our initial fire up. Just to make sure everything's good and good. Yep. Heavy. That's a big boy. All right. Side view. Really scary side view. There we go. All right. Who here is ready to see this thing fired up? I am. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Holy smokes, I did not actually anticipate this build to take this long. I didn't think I was going to spend... Come on, center up for me. Spend this much time on it. Is Spencer here? Does he want to tell us to smash that power button, or... you know, something of the likes? Power switch is off. Well, I didn't turn it on yet. You gotta at least buy me dinner for... No, I'm just kidding. No, he wants it to be full surprise, so he's not here. So, Dustin, you want to do the honors? Tell me to punch it like Han Solo yells at Chewbacca. Punch it, Chewie! Fire it up, Captain, he says. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1. We have some debugger lights. The Ram's getting some RGB. The fans are spinning. And these are our pro fans, so these are fast little flippers. Moving some air, starting to smell like paint. Maybe we should run that to get some of the... Oh yeah, there we go. I don't know. Looks kind of messy. I like it without. Please don't chop my finger off. Well, that one's gone. Nobody saw that. Just to let you know, those P14 fans, they really move. Holy smokes, they just maxed the airflow out there. I'm actually still waiting for a post. But it is 64 gigs of DDR5, so sometimes that takes a minute. Yeah. Yeah, we're still doing memory training. And these fans can get loud. Holy smokes. That's full blast. I don't know if you can hear it through the mic, but holy smokes, they can move some air. Coming up right now. Posting. Trying to. Can't hear it over mine. Oh, thank you for the follow over there on the Twitch. And we do have a post. So that memory training did take a minute for the 64 gigs of DDR5 6000 CL30. And we got the post, so first time boot, you know. Not gonna flex or anything, but wouldn't expect anything else. Music's too loud. Oh, did I bump it up? Oh, that was because somebody followed on the Twitch. I gotta adjust that. I keep forgetting to do that. Well, we're in the BIOS, so that's a good sign. That's a good start. Yeah, I thought because I knew this graphics card was going to be way up here, there was going to be a lot of dead space down here. So slapping the screen down there is going to fill it out. When we have the glass on, it has the writing. By the way, we can move it. I have multiple versions of this, but that is what the glass will look like. We can move that though. I thought it was gonna be best up there. Maybe it would look better on the bottom. Find a hiding spot to put the month and year on it. Yeah, every build gets a signature relative to the build number, so I'll sign it and then put build number 25 with the year on it. Then you can always go back and find your build. Yeah, originally, like I was saying, I did want etching of the logo on the glass, but the glass being all one piece, as you saw, very hard to find somebody with a big enough etching machine so that the glass with one piece can go into the machine, because they etch on the inside, not the outside. So the glass has to be facing up in order for it to etch. And basically they were worried about the curvature of the glass where it was and the fact that they only have one shot to do it, because if the glass breaks, we're buying a new case, and this is not a cheap case, so didn't really want to chance it and prolong the build even more. So no glass etching. I tried. I gave up after back and forths. So I did get the stickers on here. These are stickers. I could peel them. I have additional options because, just like I said, in case there's a goofy mess up or something, I could redo it. So I have extras, which I'll give to him, and he could even put them on his car if you wanted to or something. And yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Once we get the blue lights, is what my intention is to have a blue light on all the RGB. It's gonna really pop after that, but I won't be able to adjust the RGB until we get into the Windows and get the Gigabyte Control Center installed, because these are all plugged into the motherboard and managed there. But it looks pretty cool. Beautiful, Ben. Oh, thank you. And the back side actually looks pretty cool too, with all that wonderful cable management. Yeah, it turned out nice. I like it. Just sitting here, soaking it in. Got to finish the graphics for the screen now. Now that I have that plugged in, I could throw that on there and start playing around with it. But basically what I was thinking is the logo on a flag kind of flapping in the background, and then see if I can scroll the in peace, vigilance, in war, victory, in death, sacrifice. Have that scrolling across. Something like that. I don't know. What do you think about the graphics on that for the screen? Or just leave it with the flag. All right, I saw it light up, everyone. Now watch has ended. Night. All right, good night, Dustin. Thanks for staying up. Sorry for the late stream. Wanted to get started a little earlier, but the Zero Turn had other plans today. So instead of starting at like noon when I was originally planning to start the lawn, I didn't get started until almost 4. So could have seen me scrambling to get back here so I can get this stream started. All right, so there you go. We got Spencer's build number 25 for 2026. That's all we have for the night, guys. It is now 1 o'clock over here for me. It was a 3-hour and 33-minute build. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, and you haven't already followed, feel free to follow the channel. And also, if you'd like to join the Discord, that's where most of the news, where a lot of people ask questions about parts and hardware and things, and we also game over there. So feel free to join the Discord and hang out with us. But again, the late night, I'm going to bed. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We'll see you on the next one. Hopefully sometime in the middle of the week next week is when I plan to stream next, which will be revisiting the old 2003 Alienware project. If you haven't followed that, that is also listed in the Discord. Lots of cool stuff there if you're interested in retro PC stuff. So there you have it, guys. Spencer's build. Have a good night, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on the next one. Thank you, good sir. Thank you.